Hey everyone, Heather here. Thanks for joining me today. Today I'm going to teach you how to make coconut yogurt. So, to make your coconut yogurt, you're going to need your culture starter. This is 1 cup of a previous batch of yogurt that I made, and I'm going to use this as my culture starter for my yogurt today. Now, just like with the other culture starter for the coconut kefir, you can use 1 cup of that to make another batch of your coconut kefir. So you can use the cultures that I recommend and that I use up to 5 times before you need a new culture. And that's because these probiotics over time, they become less and less. With each batch you make, they get just a little bit less. This is a really potent culture. However, it's a non-histamine producing culture that benefits the immune system really well, and this is really rich in bifidobacteria strains. Bifidobacteria are really important. They feed off of fiber. They're really great for autoimmune conditions. If you're underweight and have leaky gut, this can be a really potent culture to help rectify those conditions from a root place. Also, the bifidobacteria strains are really great for removing excess estrogen from the body and from the gut. So I love this culture. It's rich in probiotics. It has a minimum of 41 CFUs, colony forming units, per 1 cup of yogurt, and that's more than a bottle of probiotics. So this is a really strong and potent probiotic. So if you're just starting off, you want to go really slow. Maybe start with 1/4 cup a day, see how you feel, and then gradually work your way up to 3 cups a day, depending on your health goals and what you're desiring. Now, if you're someone who is looking to lose weight, or has candida overgrowth, you're more likely going to want to start with the coconut kefir because those are much more supportive for those conditions. But you can contact me if you want to kind of gauge which one may be best to start with and which one may be best for your body, because not just because something has a lot of probiotics in it doesn't mean it's the right strain of probiotics for you and your gut. So when it comes to the gut microbiome, it's really important to detect what's in there, what bacteria strains are high, what bacteria strains are low, so that you can bring it back into balance in a healthy way, in a way that actually really works. Because just taking probiotics isn't usually the answer to helping support and rectify gut health, because there's so many diverse populations and strains of bacteria in your gut, and each person has a unique blend of those strains, and just by, if you're eating the same strains over and over, you're likely going to create an imbalance in your body. So that's not the case with the coconut kefir and the coconut yogurt, that the starters that I have and recommend, because they contain a diverse array of different probiotic strains, and that is really rare, and it's just not out there today. And the products you buy in your store don't contain those diverse array and amounts of probiotics, but these do. So I'm happy to get these out there to you all, and happy that you're using these and watching this video so you can make these cultures at home. So let's go with coconut yogurt. Today I'm going to make a vanilla coconut yogurt with vanilla powder and vanilla extract, coconut cream, and the coconut culture starter. That's all you're going to need. Now, the coconut cream that I recommend is this brand, and if you cannot find this brand because it's out routinely, is this brand. That's my other favorite brand, and I'll provide links to these in the notes below the video. So today I'm going to use the green brand. This is 270 milliliters per can. Now, I found that 4 of these makes about 1 quart or 1 liter of coconut yogurt. So today I'm going to make 1 quart, and obviously if you want to make more than that, just double the batch. So I'm just going to open these up, and I'm going to pour them into my food processor. Now, the food processor I'm using actually is plastic, which is good because when I add the culture, I know that it's not going to be compromised in any way from the metal. If you have metal, you can do one of 2 things. If you don't have a plastic insert, you can stir it really well using a plastic or a wooden spoon, or you could just go really fast. You could just process it really fast in your food processor if metal's your only choice. So that one was a little thick. This is coconut cream. It's not coconut milk. If you don't have coconut cream and you want to use coconut milk, you're welcome to, but it's just going to be super runny. It's not going to have that yogurt consistency, and it'll be super runny. And as we get into this here, I'll teach you how to make some other desserts and stuff with this yogurt that are low carb, keto friendly, rich in probiotics. And to do so, it's really important to have these the coconut cream because it's so thick. So I'm just going to drop these down in here, and I really love this coconut cream. It's the only brand I've found to be 100% coconut cream. Now you can find that hardened coconut cream in packets in your store, but it's really hard. That's not the kind of coconut cream you want to make this recipe. You want more of this somewhat coconut milk consistency. It's a lot thicker than coconut milk, but it has that consistency versus that thick coconut cream in the stores that is really not runny at all. That's not what you want for this yogurt. So it's really important to get this one of those creams that I posted there to get a nice consistency. Otherwise it's not going to turn out. Okay, I'm going to add 1 more, and then we'll put in the vanilla and the culture starter. And like I said, this is really rich in those bifidobacteria strains, and the bifidobacteria thrive off of fiber. So this coconut cream, why we're using it, is because it's rich in fiber. It has all those coconut fibers in it. And so it has a lot more fiber in it than, say, coconut milk, which will also make it a much richer probiotic by using the cream. So I'm just going to scoop that in there. There we go. All right, so now I'm going to put in vanilla powder, and I'm almost out, so I'm just going to add the rest. But if you're just making this recipe at home, if you have the vanilla powder, if you have that at home, just pour about, I would do 2 tablespoons. You can't really overdo the vanilla. Vanilla is one of the most potent antioxidants. So don't be shy in the vanilla. Pour as much in as you have. It's really, really a potent antioxidant. Always get organic, of course. And then I'm going to pour 2 tablespoons of vanilla extract. Make sure you get it in alcohol, not glycerin, unless you have some intolerance to alcohol. But this is organic vanilla extract. Usually I have my own, but we've run out right now, so that was a good backup. So the glycerin is really rich in sugars and can be pretty processed, and I like to avoid products that have glycerin in it. Next, this is the coconut culture. It's 1 cup left over from a previous batch. If you're just starting a fresh batch, at this point you would just pour your entire coconut starter into the blender here. So this is a leftover batch. In it goes. I hear it sizzling already. It's really, really, this has a lot of probiotics in it. So also, if you're someone who struggles with weight issues, as in inability to gain weight, that's usually a result of leaky gut. You're not absorbing your nutrients properly. And this yogurt can really, really help with that. It's important to also include other gut rebuilding foods on it. And you can learn about those at ancestraldigestion.com. But this is a really potent food for that, and autoimmune conditions. These strains are great for that. So I'm just scooping everything in. Good. All right, that's it. I'm gonna seal this up, blend it for about 5 seconds. All right, now from here, we're gonna transfer it into my glass mason jar. So I just like to scoop, I use my finger, make sure I wash my hands really well before making any ferments, and scoop any of the liquids down here because we're gonna want all of that goodness in our yogurt. So down that goes. All right, so from here, I'm just gonna pour this in, make sure you guys can see here, into the jar. And I might need a second jar actually. So, now this stuff expands pretty well. So, I highly recommend it, just 3/4 full is all you need, because that is going to be expand as it grows. And when you unseal the lid to taste test it, and when it's done, that stuff will rise up, and it's really strong. So don't fill it up too high. I'm gonna grab another jar. Okay, and we're gonna pour the rest right in there. So actually, to be more accurate here, 4 of those 270 milliliter jars is actually gonna make 2 quarts of yogurt. So keep that in mind when you're making it. All right, I'm just gonna scoop the rest in, and then we will be, that's it. This is really easy. These culture starters are super easy to make. And like I mentioned, if you're someone with histamine issues, like you react to bone broth or regular fermented foods, you get rashes or hives or breakout, or they just don't sit well with your gut, this can be a sign. Maybe you get a runny nose. These are all signs that you may be having a histamine response to the foods, and that you need to rebuild your gut before adding those wild ferments in. Sauerkraut's a wild ferment. Kombucha's a wild ferment. Water kefir is a wild ferment. And these wild ferments can be really histamine stimulating. In order to prevent that, I like to use these culture starters, these cultured ferments. I know exactly what probiotics are in there, and I know exactly what they're going to do in the body, and they're very low they even help to rectify and prevent histamine reactions. So that's why I love these cultures, for many reasons, but that's one big reason. So from here, you're going to cap your yogurt, let it set on your bench, on your counter for, leave it overnight, 8-10 hours. In the morning, open it up slowly. If it starts to rise up really fast, either put a bowl under it or seal it up really quick, because it will tend to rise. So 8 to 10 hours, open it up, taste test it. If it tastes sweet, if you taste that coconut sweetness, seal it back up, keep it going. You want it to have a tanginess. It'll have a zippiness and a tanginess to it, and that's how you know it's done. So if it's not done in 8 to 10 hours, if it's cooler in your home or winter, seal it back up and taste test it every 2 or 3 hours after, and until you get that tangy zippiness, and that's how you know it's done. You could also wrap a towel around this and then put a rubber band around it to keep the heat in, and to allow the fermentation process to go faster. That's something I really recommend and like to do. So after that, of course, store it in your fridge and eat it as much as you want, but start off slow, maybe just with a 1/4 cup, see how your body responds. There's a lot of bacteria in this yogurt, so you may need to go slow if you're just starting. Once your body gets the hang of it, it'll just eat it up, and it'll feed all of those bacterial colonies in your gut in really healthy ways. Remember, up to 5 times you can save 1 cup of your yogurt out. So like if I have 2 quarts like this going, I'll get out a 1/2 cup of this from this jar and a 1/2 cup of this jar, and I'll store that in the fridge until I'm ready to make my next batch of yogurt. That's your culture starter. You can do that up to 5 times, 5 batches, and until you need a new starter, until it wears off. So that's how you make coconut yogurt. That was coconut vanilla yogurt. We'll make a lot of different types of yogurts in the future. We'll make a mango yogurt, a banana yogurt. We'll make a cardamom yogurt. So that will get you started, and hope you enjoy. If you have questions, feel free to post below or reach out at ancestraldigestion.com if you have questions, or if you want to know how to get these really beautiful healing culture starters. All right, thanks for joining me. See you next time.